All right, everyone. Welcome back to the Bohorror Tales podcast. I'm here with my hostess, Kyle.
Hi.
My hostess, KRIS.
You're
And my host,
So
KELIN.
ghetto.
KELIN?
Crickets. Wait. Okay, moving on.
Okay.
Yes.
I guess whenever he comes back, he'll come back.
Not his character just sitting there in silence.
It's funny if you look at him while just imagining him just gone.
Well, anyway, today we're going to be diving into conspiracy theories. Now, much like Shane Dawson, this is probably going to be a long series, but without the drama, hopefully.
And the having sex with a cat.
And the racism.
And the blackface.
Yeah. Well, if Dallas was here, he'd probably...
That's for another podcast.
Did someone say, well?
Anyway, okay, so this will probably be like a first parter to a lot of those because conspiracy theories kind of dive over a lot of things. So we are going to talk about a couple things today. We might continue them in the future or do different topics, but I would assume that this is just a one-parter of many to come. So
Trigger warning, trauma, everyone.
Yeah, trauma and many other things. So if you're a triggerable person, then click off. Everyone leaves.
No, I won't say it like that, though. I won't say it like that. Y'all gotta be respectful.
What did Keelan say?
You do have to be
Okay, shut the hell up and go.
No, go.
Okay, well, anyway, first one we're going to talk about is 9/11. Yes, everyone's favorite holiday. So,
Oh my god.
This was not on the script.
hashtag we'll never...
Trigger warning,
This is
offensive
not in
jokes,
the book.
everyone.
This is not funny for you. I mean, chill.
No,
Chill.
it's pretty
Go.
funny. Okay, so, obviously, if you don't know 9/11, I know some of you are not from the U.S., but, basically these two planes were like, woo, and then they crashed into the Twin Towers. And then there was this other one that hit a Pentagon, and then there was this other one that just fell on the field and everyone died, so kind of pointless. But anyway, the other two are like the main ones, because whenever you see that 2011 graphic, it's always the two towers, and it says "We'll never forget" with a really badly edited in American flag, and the opacity is lower. So basically,
Literally terrible.
You're so
Basically-
awful.
Y'all, I'm talking about y'all.
You just literally offended like so many people.
Y'all, this is not funny. Like
Every
Okay.
little girl whose dad has like died in the 9/11 is like, what the fuck am I watching?
okay, so basically, Obama bin Laden, our favorite president.
Obama?
Ah,
Obama bin Laden?
Sorry, I'm confusing him with another Middle Eastern terrorist.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
So anyway, Osama bin Laden, I believe, basically he had this whole orchestrated plan to attack on American soil. And basically they would hijack planes. They would go to the U.S. and train in the U.S. How to fly planes and everything. And then they would take over the planes and they would crash them into the World Trade Center, the Pentagon. And I think they were going for the White House with the fourth plane, but the passengers took over. Now, people say that there was bombs in the buildings, and this was all a huge attempt to scare the U.S. citizens, and it was all staged, so that way it would convince them to go to war with parts of the Middle East, like Iraq and everything. Which, if you guys didn't know, John F. Kennedy proposed the same thing, doing a terrorist attack on the United States by itself and blaming it on someone else, so that way they could start a war with
America. This is probably true, I don't want to say anything, but America has a history of being shady when it comes to starting wars. Like, we often sell weapons and stuff to people so that they'll overthrow their own governments. And
true.
So it's very likely that the American government did have a part in that. But
I personally believe
believe
that something in 9/11, it could not have been just like a planned. It had to have been something like, well, obviously, I think it was planned in some regard. Like, it obviously was traumatic, and condolences to anyone who has lost a family member as a ripple effect directly from the event. My condolences, all of our condolences, but I think that there's definitely something to do with the government involved, and I think that in some way it was an inside job.
Nah, I agree with Chris. I can't say that it feel like it was
not the lag.
Yeah. Well,
everyone like the way how if you just think about
well, truer words were never.
Well, I guess they heard us because they took over Keelan's Wi-Fi.
No,
they got me.
I can't. Oh my god.
Can y'all?
Girl, I hear planes above my house, girl. They're getting us.
They got us.
No, but for real, I think that some presidential influence, some government influence had something to do with it because, girl, way too many little shady things added up to make this entire event happen. Like, girl, you cannot tell me that, they just flew these planes coincidentally into these fucking buildings, or I know it was planned on their part, like the terrorist part, but girl, I don't think it was that. I don't think it was just that black and white.
I mean, okay, look, I'm not going against the conspiracy theories, but I feel like that logic doesn't really wind up because if you were a terrorist group and you wanted a bunch of attention from the place that you're terrorizing, would you not hit crazy landmarks?
Right.
Like the World Trade Center?
No, I think that they work together with our government. Because at the end of the day, they kind of both benefited. Because, girl, wire security became so bomb after. Oh, wait, bomb.
Right.
Not funny. And it was because...
Girl, I did not mean to say bomb.
Wow.
Bomb as in, it became
wow.
better.
This is
my
not
god.
It became better after the fact. All of the security, everywhere, bitch, became, way better.
Yo, this is so sad.
Well,
Yo, somebody's going to see
this. If you want to know why security became so much quote-unquote bomber,
no, bitch, don't try to turn it back on me because I meant good. The security became good after the fact.
And I'm sure so did the terrorist group. But anyway, the reason is because obviously you don't want people to be able to do that again. They saw that it was a mistake that airlines and everything were way too unsecure. So they made it a lot more difficult to be able to do something like that, obviously. So
I feel like it had more than just a terrorist role in the entire thing.
So let me ask a few questions to all of you. Just a simple yes or no. Kyle, do you believe that the government had something to do with 9/11's terrorist attacks?
That's hard to say, but overall, no, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
Yeah. Okay. KELIN, if you're not glitching, could you answer the same question?
Hold on. Yeah, I agree. I agree with Kyle 100% though. But I will say that I feel like they do have something to do with it. It's just if you think about it, why are we like that? You do have to put this in the point of view of these are people. People live here. Yeah, people live in New York. People still have to go through this. This is still scary. This is a topic that they have.
He said simple yes or no.
About. Wait, no, because I want to get on something about this. But I agree. to wrap it, I would say, yeah, to wrap it all up, I do agree. But it's it's scary, man.
Okay,
even from the movie.
Chris, what about you?
He low down. He's trying to wrap me up.
I personally think it had something to do with the government because at the end of the day, the world works with money, and everyone does things for money.
Well, yeah, and if you didn't know, war causes great economic growth.
Yeah,
at the end of the day, bitch, who the fuck is making money off these 9/11 t-shirts and these 9/11 hats? Shit happens for a reason.
You know what? Freaking, the Vietnam War, and you guys know how long that went on, right? Because we were losing.
Yes.
The only reason it went on so long is because it was giving the U.S. so much money, but it was killing so many Americans from
it's terrible, but people profit off of things, and it would be no surprise to me if the government had something to do with it because bitches, we're still talking about it, and the shit happened how many years ago? It's iconic. not for the right reasons, but it's iconic. Like it's gonna keep people talking for the rest of the time.
I know what you
And
mean.
money
What you're trying to
plays
say
into
it's not
everything.
funny. Yeah. I know
Like,
what
girl,
he means.
if people are talking about it, you're gonna make money off of it. Like, they're not gonna just people are talking about it. We're just gonna sit back and like, bitch, the government's gonna profit off of it.
Yeah.
So if they found any sort of way to know that those attacks were coming, girl, I bet they were in on it. They were like, okay, well, this is gonna happen. People are gonna be affected by it, and then they're gonna find a way to make money off of it, because that's how the government works, and that's how the world works.
True.
All right. I mean, I said a yes or no, but all right.
I was doing the
Okay,
same
girl.
thing.
Well, I have to
ain't
explain
lying.
myself, because y'all are like, no, I think y'all are stupid, and the government has nothing to do with it. It was a
No, that's
destructive
not what
event.
I was saying. I do agree with you. I was just saying
Right.
that I personally don't think we would do something that drastic. But if we did, I feel I would not be surprised.
Girl, we had
in the
Donald Trump
slightest.
as
But
the
you can't
president for
really
4
even say.
years.
I ain't gonna even lie. You can't even say that, Kyle, because you know America. We've really done some fucking
America
shit.
has done some
I wouldn't
stupid
know.
act. Girl,
Like
we,
American
girl,
culture
you
is like
cannot tell
based
me
off
that
community
9/11
and
is
stuff like
crazy,
that.
but
So I
oh.
don't think we would attack our own people. I just don't think we
Oh,
would attack our own
you
people.
Oh
crazy. You
yeah, because
crazy.
America totally
I
is
want
used to attacking
to
people.
think
Oh,
we
you
wouldn't
crazy.
attack our own people, but like I
Girl,
said, I
we
wouldn't.
live in America, bitch. The
Like I
basis of
said, I
America is
would
that
not
we
be
fight other
surprised.
people.
I would not be surprised if the government did have something to do with it.
Okay.
Right.
Can you shut the fuck up? All right. Moving on.
No, that was a good discussion, Derek.
Okay,
That
wait.
was a
I
good
think that
discussion.
should bring us. I think that should bring
Y'all are
us into
talking over
COVID.
each other. Anyway.
Okay, wait. Can I speak, Derek? I want to introduce the next topic.
Yeah, our podcast.
What's the
will not
next
be
topic?
accurate.
So I think that this is a great segue into COVID, talking about COVID and COVID conspiracies, because
Right.
many people think that the government
Wait, COVID
is in on
trigger warning.
COVID.
Trigger warning.
Yeah,
COVID.
trigger warning.
Trigger warning
Once
for COVID,
again,
yeah.
if you have had any family members affected by COVID, then I would
Our
recommend you click off.
condolences.
And yeah, our condolences. Rest in peace.
Stop.
Not the mic noises.
Okay, well, I would like to start off by saying a lot of people think that COVID is something to do with the government and that the government benefits off of it. I've heard people in real life, like I've had real life discussions where people have been so ignorant to be like, well, the government makes money when people are in the hospital.
Right.
And the government benefits from people dying from COVID. But I don't think that's true at all. Like, I don't think that the government makes
we're
money
suffering
from
right
dead bodies.
now.
Okay, yes, the economy awful right now, but I will tell you this: the number, I'm sure you've seen like the number of how many deaths COVID is. It's like, what is it, like 500,000 by now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I
500,000
would like to
now.
add is inaccurate. But anyway,
Yeah, that's what I was at.
Some of them are
It's-
inaccurate. You can't lie. Yeah.
because
quite a lot of them.
there have been many deaths that have had not
That haven't been
from COVID
reported.
that they blame on COVID.
Yeah,
Well,
and they haven't
yes,
even been
so
reported. So
If
yeah.
you motherfuckers listen, so what I was trying to say is that a lot of hospitals will say that an old patient or a new patient has died due to COVID, so that way they receive more money from funding.
That's
and so that leads to more, inaccurate numbers online.
Yes. and many of the people who have actually died from things like car crashes and like accidental events have been blamed, like the death toll has been blamed like nearly purely on COVID, especially if they're the person who's passed away from a car accident or something like that, or like motorcycle accident has been sick recently, or it has like a family member that was sick. It's just easier for them to add it to the COVID rate, which is why everyone like who thinks COVID is a hoax, like, is just like COVID's fake because the numbers aren't accurate, which like sucks because it like invalidates the people who actually have died from it.
Yeah.
True.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask a next question and keep it no more than 2 sentences, please. Okay, so do you think the US has some involvement with spreading this virus or starting it? Like, do you think, because I know some people are like, oh my God, the US.
Wait, sorry, could you repeat that?
Like, okay, so like, you know how people, there's like those like rightists that say, oh my God, they started.
I know you did not just say rightist.
It's funnier. They're like, oh, they started COVID, and the US is to blame because everyone is sheep, and so that way they'll wear a mask to see how stupid you look, like that. Do any of you believe that at any point, or do you think it's an actual virus that actually originated in Wuhan and it's a big deal and those people are just dumb?
Okay, so here's the thing. I'll take the floor for now. So basically, the right wingers, their biggest argument with it is the 2% death rate. Most people don't die. And I think that's a really staple to American culture. We don't care about anything unless it's directly affecting us or our family. So it's easier to say, oh, if it's not harming me, since I'm not old, since I don't have an illness already, it's easier to just be like, oh, let me not wear a mask. Let me be unsafe because, you know, it's not affecting me. But since it's affecting other people and it's ruining my day-to-day life, I'm going to get on here complain about it. So I do think that the virus is real. It's it's confirmed real. Like there's no denying that now. But it's like those people, the people that say the stuff like, oh, it's a government hoax, it's a government thing, whatever, those right wingers that and conservatives that say stuff like that, it's just based off ignorance. And it's really disappointing to see, really, because these people will claim to care about America so much and then go and actively destroy America. And it's just really disheartening.
We've been known that like people who are like that, right wingers, they get off on anything that the majority of people are agreeing with, especially on social media nowadays. Like if they see something trending on TikTok that is very like leftist and like a lot of people are gonna agree with, like especially in Gen Z and like our generation, they're gonna just immediately go against it. Like it's just in their blood. Like if all of Gen Z was like, COVID is real, then their immediate reaction is to like find a way to like make it seem like it's fake.
The minimum wage
is literally just in their nature. Like they just are built to just like go against anything that's logical that we agree with.
So KELIN,
because that's the thing, they care more about money. They care more about money. They care more about money and the economy than they do about the actual people that are suffering. They just want to throw open all the businesses and try and get all of our
and let's not act like it's not a race thing.
Oh, definitely, because COVID has in fact
disproportionately
affected
Black people more.
It's disproportionately affected Black and brown communities because we don't have the access to stuff like they do, and it's not fair.
It's true. We don't
environmentally
have the damn same access to healthcare and stuff like that. No.
And environmentally, most Black people are brought up in neighborhoods that basically feed them to becoming diabetic or having diabetic families.
True.
Or
because
families with heart issues,
food,
and then that also
because
it's cheap.
Cheap food is unhealthier. Okay, the thing
it's cheaper to make.
I didn't quite understand it myself at first because whatever. But basically, it's like you can get you can go to McDonald's and get a whole meal for $5, but if you were to spend that $5 at some grocery store to make something healthy, you could only get like a vegetable or two, and it's not fair.
And that plays into COVID, and that plays into race, because they get these vulnerable Black families and vulnerable Black people who already have issues in their family line and their bloodline with health effects like heart disease and diabetes and just obesity, like things that COVID does not mix well with. So it does have something to do with race, because these white people who are right wingers don't realize that it's inherently racist to make COVID seem like a hoax, because it affects Black people more than it affects white people. It's just a fact.
And not to mention the fact that Black people, historically, we've been mistreated by the government as it is when it comes to stuff like this. The Tuskegee trials. What about that? Okay, Black people literally experimented on. So no shit, we're not going to trust the government when it comes to stuff like that.
And then they're like, well, why are there so many white old people dying? Because majority of the Black people have already been killed off or have died from issues like obesity and issues like heart disease. That's why there's so many white people dying off now, because there's so many of them. And like, there's not as many Black people that are older.
What's it called? So I have a question. My next question, and keep this one a lot shorter than that one. Do you think this? Oh my god! Do you think this vaccine is? Do you think it has some kind of chip in it, or it's some kind of way of dumbing you down? Because I'm gonna be honest with y'all, with the audiences here, Max is an anti-masker, and she thinks this virus. I'm sorry, I'm laughing too hard. This virus has a chip in it.
The vaccine,
This
you
doesn't
mean?
even sound like. And how,
Like, this is
how
No,
can you
I'm
even
not
put a
kidding.
chip in a fucking virus, like in the vaccine? Like I don't even.
Okay,
Now,
so
If
I'm
they
not even
wanted
gonna
to do
lie.
something to us, they would have done it by now.
Let me
That's all I'm gonna
Yeah,
say.
true.
yeah, let me explain this. Okay, if it was some chip, not only would that be impossible to stay in your bloodstream and not be affected in some way, um, like bytes, like motherboards and things like that. For I don't know what a chip could do to your body. It's not like we're robots and you put in a chip and you get a virus. It's kind of funny because a
Right.
computer virus. That's not how biology works, I'm afraid. And the needles that they've shown with the vaccine, they're far too small to contain.
They're
anything
very thin
liquid.
too. Yeah, they're very thin.
And like,
Yeah.
what are they gonna do even if we had chips in us? Like, girl, they can't keep track of immigrants. How the fuck are they gonna keep track
That's
of
the
us?
thing. American is so pro-capitalism, pro-democracy, pro-republic. Why would we randomly do a complete 180 to the government shipping us and mind controlling us and tracking our location or whatever, and become like completely communist? Like that argument is just completely invalid. Not to mention, if this chip monitors our location or whatever it does, first of all, the government can easily find you. Your fucking location is literally everywhere on every document you fill out, and they could easily find you either way. So I mean, it's just this whole chip argument is just
I
not
also
smart.
have something else to say real quick.
Legit, yeah.
I think I brought this up in a past podcast. So in 8th grade, I had a science teacher named Douglas Kreiner. By the way, sorry if you get like outed by the FBI here. And he worked for the U.S. government developing nuclear weaponry. And a lot of the things that he told us, there was like, even this stuff is crazy, the fact that he can tell us this, but there was so much stuff that he couldn't because it would put so many people in danger, is what he said.
Yeah.
But let me tell you this, he did not have a cell phone. And the guy was like, probably like 50s, late 50s. Do you guys maybe know why he might not have had a cell phone?
Mm-hmm.
I know why.
Follow you and
Yeah,
track
they can
you
follow
and listen
you.
to
They can
everything you
listen to
say.
Let me tell
Yeah.
you this. Let me tell you what he told the class. He said the reason he does not have a phone, a cell phone, the only one he has is a very old, like flip phone that he never uses, and it's always at his house off with the battery out. Now he said the reason why is because they can track you with their phone and they're listening to you. It's on record. Every phone call, what we're doing right now, it's recorded. And now they don't listen to it like in Stranger Things 24/7, but if they hear code words like bombing, planes, things like that, then they investigate you and put you on this kind of like blacklist until they realize that you either are or not a harm. And
Our internet service provider literally tells us this though.
yeah,
like
It's
in
like shared
most of the
information.
things,
It's like shared
they're
cooking.
like, okay, Google, for example, when you go on incognito, don't ask why I'm on incognito. When you go on incognito, it'll be like, your internet service provider can and will have records of everything you Google, even while you're on incognito. So it's not like this is secret information that they can
and also
follow you.
This other thing is he said that they can hear you 24/7 and they can track you if the battery is in. Even if the phone is off, they can still track you as long as the battery is in. And he said
that is a big thing I want to say, actually, like really quick. There is no good reason why phones die and you can still turn them on. Like you can still hold it down and see the battery thing. Like why can you still see that? The phone clearly can still operate. Like,
which is weird, which is very on.
Weird. Okay,
that's because your phone has many things going on the background, and when it loses battery percentage, it no longer can abstain those background systems.
Yeah,
but it can probably focus
general,
on that one.
If it's dead, it shouldn't be able to turn on. Period.
Okay,
like
I'll
if it's actually dead.
I'll explain that from technology purposes in a minute. But he said that's the reason that iPhones, you can't take the battery out. The
Yeah,
government-
I know. Who doesn't know that?
And-
Who doesn't know
And
that?
they make the iPhones more expensive because
Yeah.
they make the technology, the tracking, anything that they can use against you, and you're buying it because you think it's cool to have it and it's more expensive.
Well-
And you're actually making
Yeah.
it easier for them because they have better things to track.
I
the
know,
quality's
and that's the
better.
scary part. Yeah.
I think
Like you think that you're like, oh, I'm getting a new iPhone. Like, no, you're just literally like
Well-
making it easier for them.
I don't really think that the reason it's so expensive is because of technology. I think it's just because, if you don't know, that's how capitalism works. People will pay a ridiculous amount of money for something so easy.
No, I'm
Um,
saying like the more stuff, the more tracking things they can put into us and into the phones is probably the higher they're gonna make the price. Like the easier it is for them, and they know we're gonna buy it, so they're gonna do it.
Chris, I feel like you don't
Yeah.
understand how easy it is and how cheap it is just for a location device.
Not even just location, like in general.
The thing
Things
is,
that they
like,
can
no
put in the
matter
phone that we
what,
don't know about. Girl, I don't know
to
nothing that's inside
prosper-
of my phone.
to prosper in this society, you need to have technology. So it's like, no matter what
Well,
we
let's
do,
just-
no matter, well, they don't prosper. So anyways, so like, no matter what we do, no matter where we go, we're always going to be on a screen. We're always going to be monitored, like laptops, TVs, your gaming systems, whatever. They can easily like follow you through that. So I don't
Girl,
know.
I literally have a speaker. I have a
stopped-
speaker next to me.
I've
And-
stopped minding because, like, first of all, once again, there's nothing we can really do about that unless we like left America. But like, I just know that the chances are I'm not doing anything illegal, so they would have no reason to be like stalking me, because like I think there's a common misconception that's being spread that, oh, they just sit there constantly listening. No, that's not what they do. Like we don't have like specified
FBI
government
agents.
agents like
Also,
that.
I don't even think they would have
meme.
time to do that with the amount of people that.
Yes, there's like there's millions of people in America,
Yeah,
millions of cell
I don't
phones.
really think
They
that
do not have
they
the
would even
time
have
to
the
do that.
ratio to be able to check on everyone. The amount of
And
people
if they did do that,
I don't
we
know
would no
though. You
longer
can't say
have
that they
any
wouldn't.
like.
Keelan,
there's
Well,
no way they
no.
can manage all of the people in America listening to every single one or like majority at all times when
If they were
There's more
listening
people
to
that work-
every phone call, tracking every purpose, we would no longer have terrorism and attacks like that. And just the other day at that, month, I guess, at that little freaking, Capitol riot, there was a guy with a
Mhm.
pipe bomb. They would have known about that. The government would have known about that,
The other day,
but they
I-
didn't.
there was a pipe bomb.
I meant the Capitol, like it was January.
Gotcha.
Misspoke.
Well, I mean, like I said, this topic, there's so much more to cover. I mean, like aliens, and there's that weird like theory that there's some reptile alien society that's running our government.
Which is anti-Semitic.
nobody that one video of Beyonce when her eyes turn yellow.
Oh, yeah. And then
Shut up.
there's like that one of what's it called, Hillary Clinton, and like her eyes like.
Girl, that
blink.
shit is
And
so
Mark
obviously
Zuckerberg.
edited. They swear they did something.
I don't know. It's really funny. But
I mean,
And then
you
you'll
can't
go
really
to
People
say
think
it.
Mark
you'll go look
Zuckerberg is
it
a
on
There's a lot.
YouTube and it'll be nothing on it.
there's a lot of stuff that this topic can really cover, and sadly we are almost out of time, so we can't cover them all. But if this is something very interesting to you guys and you'd want to hear more, and I definitely would dive more into aliens and secret societies and the Illuminati and things like that in the next one, which I'm sure everyone else would as well, then let us know.
Wait, how
But-
much time do we have left?
Probably only about 5 minutes.
Kyle, can you check?
It's 5:59.
So yeah, I hope you all
We could get our
enjoy-
talking points out.
Yeah, and any other points?
Closing
from-
thoughts, anyone?
Yeah, closing thoughts.
On the two things we discussed, which were 9/11 and COVID, I definitely think that the government has a way to control us. There's a reason that so
Mhm.
many people agree with certain things and disagree with certain things that is probably out of our control. Like it's such a clean divide. Like it's like when people agree with things, people don't, because eventually the people that do and don't, you find a way to get on a side or another side. So I feel like there's definitely a way that they get us to feel some type of way. And the stronger that we feel about something, the better, because they benefit from everything. Like I said, money plays into everything. If they can get you to buy that shirt, that Trump shirt, that Biden shirt, like everything plays into money. And if they can find a way to control you, to make you want something, to make you like, that's why the entire purpose of billboards and advertisements and everything is all propaganda in some way. Like everything is just slowly making you want something or slowly making you lean towards an opinion, because that's the way that they control you. We would not have 5-minute sessions of advertisements on a 30-minute TV show if there was no
TikTok as
reason.
well. Like y'all, we literally in this group, we literally have seen firsthand the effects of how TikTok can easily make someone change their opinion. Like we've seen,
Yeah.
like TikTok,
And we don't even know. There could be TikTokers that are paid by the government to make videos like that, like funny TikTokers
those freaking
that
political
are promoted
TikTokers.
or
Yeah.
are paid by the government.
And like I
to
said,
make
you
videos
know,
like that.
there's so much to cover with this. And, you know, if we have time later tonight, I would love to do a second parter to these topics alone. But, you know, KELIN, do you have any closing arguments? All right, great.
Nothing really
No.
other than saying that I agree with both topics about this, but you low down. Shut up.
My
Okay.
closing thoughts.
Oh, so low down.
The government is evil and we need to overthrow it. And every issue we have in our society today is based off of white supremacy. So thank you
Well,
everyone
Very
for
that.
watching.
I don't know if I would say every issue. I definitely think- I
No,
definitely-
quite literally every issue. White
I think
supremacy.
the
If it
majority
wasn't for
of
white
it-
supremacy, the colonizers would have never come to America. They would have never come to America because they felt a need, they felt a claim to take something that was not theirs. So without them here, without that white supremacy, without that greed, that white greed, we would not be here today. Anyways, y'all have a great night. Happy 2021, everyone. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Love, kisses.
Don't be racist.
Ah.